Today I'm going to show you how to create a fleet cost summary report generator of PM Overdue. So this is all for vehicles, trucks, and I get a table here with columns like fleet number, make, preventive maintenance date, or the schedule of PM, and with corresponding cost to perform the PM. And the last column would be for the status, either overdue or scheduled. So the idea of this exercise is for us to monitor the overdue. We're gonna count the overdue, how many overdue there are in the list, and with corresponding costs, we're gonna get the cost of this overdue, and we're gonna total them, gonna sum them up. Okay, like for this one, I got $210 plus another overdue, $135, plus another overdue, $130, so on and so forth. I got no problem with the schedule because schedule is still far from today. Today is 27th of August, and this one is 18th of August. That's already overdue. So today, this 27th, this is 2 days from today. So this is 29th of August, 3 days from today, 30th of August, so on and so forth. Okay, so we have no problem in terms of the schedule ones. What we're gonna do is we're gonna count the overdue, and we're gonna sum the corresponding cost in the overdue. So this is a big issue in terms of the budget because we don't want the PM data lapses. So we want to get this PM data done on time and on schedule. So we're gonna count the overdue, and we're gonna total the cost. So there is no problem with that. And there is also an issue in terms of the PM not done on time or on schedule. We want to ensure that we monitor and we maintain the condition of the vehicles, and these are very expensive vehicle in terms of the acquisition cost, very expensive. And if we don't do our preventive maintenance on time, we might have an issue in terms of repair and maintenance later on, unscheduled repair and maintenance, because we don't do the PM on time, and the condition of the vehicles will deteriorate or will worsen, and we don't want to do that because we want to prolong the service life of the vehicle. As I've said, these are very expensive equipment. We need to prolong their service life or useful life. So we want to do the preventive maintenance date on time and on schedule. So the reason why another reason why we want to count the overdue and total them is we want to create a message box, and we want to escalate this to senior management. Okay, report this to the senior management for their consequently decision making. Maybe in terms of the issue in the lack of manpower, we lack the technicians. That's why we have this issue of overdue, PM overdue. Perhaps we have issue in terms of the availability of the spares or the components that we need for our performance of the preventive maintenance. For example, oil, filter, and many other things that we need in the preventive maintenance. So these things are normally budgeted every year, and it's already part of the budget, or even part of the cost to produce of our products. So that is not an issue. But if we have an overdue preventive maintenance, our cost will go up, and we have to increase our budget in terms of the parts, in terms of the materials, in terms of the consumables, in terms of the manpower, things like that. So we don't want that to happen, and that is what you call mismanagement. So we want to be prompt in everything we do. So we're gonna report it via the message box to get the total of the all overdue, so that we can address the problem later on. Okay, so let's assume that this is a long list of fleet complement, and it's really very hard to do it manually for the user or the person working on this task in monitoring and this counting of overdue. So we want to make it a lot easy, but by doing it automatic and creating a macro for this. So the macro will do the accounting and will do the summing up of the cost. So we're gonna create a macro for this. So let's assume that this is a long list. So doing it automatically will be easy for us in performing this task, or for the user or the person performing the task. So I'm gonna open the VB editor to create the macro. I'm gonna open it Alt plus F11. That would be the shortcut key, but you can actually open it via the ribbon developer tab. Open the developer tab and then you open it Visual Basic, the icon. Then you get the visual the VBA editor. Okay, if you are there could be some issue, like if you are new to the Excel, or first time you open the workbook for this Excel, then you don't have the developer tab in your ribbon. You can actually install the developer tab by clicking the file and then clicking the option, and then in the dialog box you click the customize ribbon, and then here you can see the developer tab here, developer. If the developer is here, it's blank, it's not clicked yet, so you just click this and then click OK. Then you get the developer tab in your macro or in your ribbon. Then you open the Visual Basic again. Then I'm gonna insert. Now we're gonna write the macro for this. Create the macro and write the code. I'm gonna close this windows so that we're gonna have a wider view of the screen. Then I'm gonna write the macro. I'm gonna name it generate fleet cost summary. So generate fleet cost summary. So that would be the name of our macro. Then I'm gonna declare all my variables. I got several variables here that I need to declare. I'm gonna start with the worksheet. So dim ws as worksheet. Next is the overdue count. Okay, dim overdue count. Okay, dim overdue count as long. Okay, then I'm gonna add another one, total cost as double. Okay, what happened is we got overdue that we're gonna count, okay, in the column number 5. Then after counting the overdue, we're gonna sum up or get the total cost of the corresponding cost of the overdue for the implementation of preventive maintenance. Okay, so we need those two, very important for us. Then I'm gonna include them last row, because we're gonna count the row from the bottom all the way up to the non-empty cell or non-empty row. Okay, as long. Then I'm gonna insert another one, I as long, variable I as long, then enter. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set the worksheet now. Set ws equal sign. Okay, as usual, this workbook dot sheets. Okay, I'm gonna specify the sheet current sheet that we have right now in the workbook. So sheet 1, then enter. Alright, also gonna set the last row, equal sign, then WS dot cells. Okay, then I'm gonna count the I'm gonna count the overdue. Okay, so WS cells. Okay, WS dot cells. Alright, then I'm gonna use the rows, the count, and I'm gonna count the column A, the fleet numbers. Okay, and then I'm gonna use the that end of the column. Okay, that end and the Excel up. This is going upward from the bottom to the last non-empty shell. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. Then I'm gonna say okay, WS, okay, not cells but rather rows, that count, okay, comma, then column A, we're gonna count the fleet number. It is in column A. Alright, then dot end up, and Excel up, that row. Okay, that is how we use the last row variables. We can count the column A, then from the bottom going up to the last non-empty cells, then we're gonna count the row with contents in the row, right? So that's what we do. Now I'm gonna start working on our loop through. I'm gonna use the variable I. Loop through is equal to number 2 because we're gonna start our data from row number 2, because in row number 1 we get our headers like fleet number, make, PM date, cost, status, things like that, right? To last row. Okay, and then I'm gonna write my conditional statement if WS dot cells, then variable I, comma, and then number 5 column. What is number 5 column? Number 5 column is the status. Okay, column E, right? So that value. Okay, then equal sign. Okay, because we're counting what? The overdue, PM overdue. Okay, then I'm gonna indent this. What I'm gonna do is whatever is the things that we're doing, we're putting in, like the what you call the variables that we're putting in within the if statement. Okay, and then up to the NF. So we're for more readable or more comprehensible, we're gonna indent. Okay, so to be more clean in our code. So the next is overdue count equals overdue count plus 1. Enter. Okay, that for the counting of the overdue. Okay, the next thing is we're gonna sum up the cost. So I'm gonna use the variable total cost equal sign total cost again. So we're now summing up the cost of the overdue plus WS dot cells. Okay, So which one we're getting the total cost from column number 4, the cost of the PM. Okay, so I'm gonna use variable I, comma, which is located in column number 4. Okay, then that value, enter. Now I'm gonna close the N, rather F, so NF. So you see what I mean? We usually, if you use the if statement here and in the NF here, we have to, for more clean and more readable or more understandable, we need to indent. Okay, just say, I'm just showing you the best practice in doing it. All right. Then next one is we're gonna complete the loop through, which is next variable I. All right. Now the next thing that we're gonna do is now I'm gonna write the message box for this. So message box, as I've said, we're gonna report it via message box, that the total of the cost of overdue. So I'm gonna put a title, overdue vehicles. I'm gonna name it vehicles instead of fleet vehicles, then colon, because this is for vehicles, then quotation mark, then ampersand. Okay, so I'm gonna use the over count. Okay, overdue count, variable overdue count variable, and ampersand. Then I'm gonna use this function CRLF, ampersand, then underscore. So what is, what is VB? I forgot the VB. Should be VB. What is a VB CRLF? VB CRLF is a VB constant used to insert carriage return. So this is, the CR is carriage return, and line feed, the LF is line feed characters. So the carriage return moves the cursor to the start of the line, then the line feed moves the cursor down to a new line. Okay, moving it down, because in our message box we need 2 lines. One is for the overdue vehicles and one is for the total overdue cost. Okay, so analogy of this is typewriter. Okay, so derived from typewriters, where a carriage return move the typing head to the left and a line feed advance the paper upward, and you can start typing, things like that. Okay, so the next line would be, that's why we use VBCRLF. So total, I forgot the T, total overdue cost, then colon. Okay, then I'm gonna include a currency, $sign. Okay, $sign. Then I'm gonna put a quotation mark. Then I'm gonna include the format. So I'm gonna format it, the currency format, open parenthesis. Then the variable total cost, we're gonna format the total cost, then comma. Okay, we're gonna format the numbers, so it should be $sign, comma, $sign, 0.00, then quotation mark, then I'm gonna close it. Okay, then comma, then VB information. then tab. Okay, vehicle information. So that's it. Okay, that's it. We got all the things we need in our code to be able to create the macro. I'm gonna go to the Excel. Okay, then I'm gonna open the macros. Okay, here in the dialog box, I'm gonna go to the options. So we're gonna create the control plus something shortcut key. So I'm gonna include the 0. So control, O, control plus O. You click OK. I'm gonna cancel this. Okay, I'm gonna click or press control plus O. Okay, here we are. Here we have it. Okay, we have the overdue vehicles 5. So we got 5 vehicles, and the total overdue cost is $820. I'm gonna click this. So how many we have? We got 1, we got 2, we got 3, we got 4, we got 5. So we got total of over 5. So let's assume that it's a long list, and we're doing it via the macro to do it automatic. So all you have to do is control plus O. Every time you make changes, you update the list, then just click or press the control plus O. Then you get the overdue vehicles, total of 5. And this could be a long list, and this could be you have several vehicles with overdue, PM overdue vehicles, and the total overdue cost. And in this case, we get $820. Okay, so that's it for our exercise for today. And thank you for watching. See you in the next one.